Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo.
On this episode of the History of the Course podcast with Curtis and Josh, we continue our look at the band known as AFI. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at IsSurvivedByPro for news and the latest episode postings. And make sure to subscribe to the show, leave us a 5-star review, and write us a comment on YouTube or whatever podcast service you're using. Make sure to check us out on TikTok and give us a follow at IsSurvivedByProductions. And if you'd like to see us do some live streams, leave us a comment or tweet us the keyword stream. Now, without further ado, let's start the show.
The devil is in Atlanta, army surrounded.
I hear the morning choir sing to me their elegy. So beautiful. They sing to me their elegy. Requiem. Welcome back to the History of the Chorus podcast, where each and every episode we take a look at the history of a band from the core genre. I'm Curtis, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Josh. What up?
What up?
What's going on, man?
Oh, nothing. Just trying to savor the best block here of
Yes.
AFI because when we move past this, at least to my knowledge,
Let's say, in your
I
opinion,
only know about December Underground.
yeah.
I have not listened to any of those later albums, and I am frankly afraid to.
I listened to one song off of their newest album. I think it's called Bodies, the album. I don't remember what the song's called. Had a music video with it, and I didn't even make it all the way through. Not even probably halfway through. And I was like, yeah, no, can't do it.
See, I read
So,
a quote from Davey Havok that said that I think Crash Love was the album that they would be remembered for.
yes. Yep. Which I think
Which,
but is it kind of a deal where he's saying, because we're going to talk about that because I have that quote in my notes. Is it kind of a deal where, because I went back and forth on like how he was putting it. Is he making a declaration that's like, this album right here is what we're going to be remembered by because I believe in it and it's a good album and blah blah blah? Or is he saying, hey, December Underground was such a success mainstream wise, can we back it up, with this next album? Because, and we talked about before, it's like somebody like Under Oath, how big Define the Great Line was. That's hard to follow an album like that. So most people are going to be anticipating, okay, what are you going to do now? You hit this peak up here. So it's like, what, can you keep going up, or are you going to decline after that? And so I feel like the other side of that would be, this is the album that we're going to be remembered by, whereas this is either going to make it or break it, or it's either going to continue on or we're going to fall off the cliff. So I don't know. I was kind of interested in how, which way he was putting it. Was he declaring it, or was he saying, hey, this is a toss up? It's going to depend on what the fans say,
yeah,
I don't know.
it will be what we're remembered for better or worse. Yeah,
Right.
I got you.
Yeah. I'm dying with anticipation here.
Yeah, Curtis, I just want to take this opportunity real quick to let you know that I am starting up the Church of the Seventh Track. And I just wanted to give you an opportunity to get in on the ground floor.
The Church of the Seventh Track. Okay. What's your
all I have to
foundation
say
here?
is that
Sell
because
me.
you know about the seventh track rule.
But what about our fans? They may not know.
So the seventh track on any given album is where shit really starts to get good. The seventh track on any given album is going to be completely ridiculous. I'm going to give you an example right this moment.
Okay, let's hear
the
it.
prayer position from
Okay.
Black Sails.
Okay.
Probably one of the strongest songs on the album.
Okay.
Um, Art of Drowning, Smile, still a pretty solid
Still a good
track.
one. Yeah.
I don't know if it's the best one on the album, but I'm yet to come across a track 7 on a decent album
Death of
that
Seasons.
isn't good. Oh yeah, Death of Seasons.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. December Underground, Affliction. Okay. Okay. I would actually say Affliction. God, see, this
Oh,
is
okay.
why.
I thought there was some cracks in your religious foundation there.
No, I'm listening to it right now, and this is like it might be the best song on December Underground.
Okay.
So
What's it called? Affliction?
yeah. Do I need
Okay.
to say anything else, Chris? This is why we're starting the Church of the Seventh Track.
No, we've had the discussion before outside of, AFI because it was on an episode before. But yeah, I get you, man. I'm with you on that for
All
sure.
glory to the seventh track.
All hail.
Uh,
uh, cool. Cool, man. So what day of the week are we meeting?
this is not happening.
The Church of the Seventh Track is always with you. It is
Yeah.
inside of you.
May
Look
the light of
into
the
your
seventh track be
souls.
with you.
I see it. It's in you. The power is within you of the seventh track. Cool, man. Cool. Be interested to hear some more updates on your your church. Do we get a
That
weekly
would be
bulletin or
that would be a great shirt for this podcast.
hey,
The
it's
Church
already
of the
happening,
Seventh
bro.
Track.
It's
Yeah.
already happening. Yeah. Let me write that down real quick here or type that down at least. Hold on 1 second. Let me put that in my notes here. Track. Done. I will remember. We will remember. Cool. Sir, would you like to lead us off in our weekly edition of What Did You Listen to This Week besides AFI?
Yeah, for
I mean, I would
sure.
I would hope that you listen to the albums, but other than that, I would like to know.
All right, get ready. You're not going to be expecting this
Okay, let's see it. Ah!
because
Okay,
Curtis,
okay,
this week I gave the week to the ladies.
okay. The only one I don't recognize is the one. Well, I mean, I don't know the top two. I mean, I don't know the top two albums to the left, but I can't tell what's in the middle behind you.
And make sure there's not a cat under me that I'm going to run over here.
Oh, the yeah. Okay, okay, okay. Why don't you put AFI on there?
Because after we did our episode last week, I listened to Sing the Sorrow like 3 or 4 times since then.
Okay,
So
okay,
I felt like they deserved a spot.
okay, okay.
So over
Take
here,
us on the journey. Yes.
this is a band called Smalls.
Mhm.
Do you know Smalls?
Yes, I think I have a couple albums on, at least one, maybe an EP on my phone.
Okay.
Yeah, I got from you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, they're a pop punk band. And all of these are going to be female vocalists. So then we got Tonight Alive. That's their first album. And we got Paramore over here, Riot, which is like their second or third.
Second.
Um, you got AFI Sing the Sorrow behind me over here. Flyleaf over there. And then the
Oh, gee, man.
over here.
Nice. Very nice. Are you pumped for that Paramore concert?
Yeah. Yeah, we're pretty excited. I don't
Good,
remember who
man.
the opener is, but I looked up the set list and it's pretty good.
Did they just start that tour
Yeah.
or they have been on? Okay. I was thinking they just started it, but I wasn't for sure.
Yeah, but it's not
Nice.
like the tour for their newest album. You know, like when you tour a new album, you basically play the entire album.
Yeah,
Do people
well,
not do that anymore?
I don't know. I mean, Probably not, but it's my feeling too is like when you're a band like Paramore and you've been around for so long and you have such a like thick stack of discography, you put out a new album, it's like, yeah, you put some songs on there, but you do a lot of well-rounded, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's what Norma Jean did, even when they went on the Death Rattle tour for their album, they actually played more of just like a well-rounded set list instead of just, oh, it's 90% Death Rattle album songs and the rest is everything else. It was a well-rounded set list. So it seems to be more of, at least if you got a thick stack of discography, you're just kind of throwing everything in there, you know.
Okay.
But maybe at the same time, I don't know. It may be a deal too where that's just because they're a band. Those two bands have been around for a long time, whereas maybe like a band that hasn't been around as much or doesn't have as much discography, would probably go old school. But I get what you're saying though. So
It'll be interesting. I've never seen Paramore live, so
what's their set list looking like? A nice mixture though.
yeah, it's a pretty good mixture. I can
Is
pull it
Misery
back up
Business on
here.
there?
I don't know if it was on there.
Yeah. I wouldn't think that they would play that every night. I know, we talked about it before that for a while there they got rid of it and said we're not playing anymore. And the next thing you know, they're playing it again. But I
We
would,
got You First, That's What You Get, The News, Playing God, Caught in the Middle, Rose Colored Boy, Running Out of Time, Decode, Big Man, Little Dignity, Last Hope, Liar, Crystal Clear, Hard Times, Told You So, Figure Eight, The Only Exception, Ain't It Fun, Baby, Crave. This does have Misery Business on it.
yeah.
And the two songs that they do for their encore are Still Into You and This Is Why.
We know you're coming out for an encore. Just go ahead and play them. Don't tease us.
Well, I don't know. That's one of them. This is kind of weird. This has like a list below it of like people like put on there. There's like show openers, You First or This Is Why, and 40 people put on there You First. They played that first at their
Yeah.
concert. It's kind of
Well,
weird.
I'm sure it's kind of a mixture too. I mean, it's not going to be the exact same thing every single night, you know?
Yeah. And I can't remember who's
Um,
opening for them. It's somebody I've never heard of.
nice. Is that September?
No, that's this
Or...
next Saturday.
Oh, is it in August?
No, dude, end of July. It's the 28th.
Oh, it's July, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Nice. Cool, man.
Yeah.
All right, you ready to see my albums?
No, we're gonna skip it today.
Look at it. Look at it. Hey, look, moving around. Whoa. Anyway, okay. So see this top left over here. Took some of your advice from a earlier episode. And I went back and I listened to the very first album of Dillinger Escape Plan.
It's a good one.
You want to talk about pure chaos and raw vocals? Good Lord, man. I fell in love immediately. That's right up my alley.
Since we're talking about Dillinger, how do you feel about Deftones? Like especially like the first few albums.
They're okay. I mean, I haven't listened to like any full album. That's another one I need to go back and
Oof.
listen to full. What do you have
Yeah.
a suggestion?
Around the Fur or Adrenaline, I think is the name of the first one.
Okay. Yeah, I'll
Um,
definitely put that on the list to listen to. Because
but yeah, I feel like
I've
those are
heard,
the two that I go through the most.
yeah, I've heard like singles here and there, but and I like them, but I know that their discography is kind of hit and miss at times too.
Hmm.
So, um, but yeah, Then this one right below it, it's a band called Windwalkers. Eric actually turned me on to this one. It's kind of a newer band. I would describe they're a metalcore band.
This album cover is sick as hell.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's called Lost Boys. Um, I told Eric, I said, listening to the clean vocals makes me think at times of the clean vocalist from We Came as Romans. And then the
What was the name of the band
unclean
again?
Windwalkers.
Okay.
And the album's called The Lost Boys. Um, but the unclean vocals made me kind of think at times of A Day to Remember's unclean vocals. More like mm, more heavier, I would say. But he kind of has that style kind of that A Day to Remember's unclean vocals has.
Okay.
But it was a good one. I got to listen to it one time through. I want to go back and listen to it again because I did like it. It's got a good balance of clean and unclean vocals throughout the album. And then this last band is another one of those instrumental post rock bands. It's called When Waves Collide, and the album's called Chasm. It was pretty good. So if you're
Okay.
into that, check it out. When Waves Collide, Chasm. And I didn't say the Dillinger Escape Plan album, but it's called Calculating Infinity. So, yeah, that is what I listened to this week. So,
Nice.
yeah, cool. Alrighty. One last thing I wanted to ask you before we actually get into this. I know this intro is kind of going long here, but have you finished It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
What about It's Always Sunny? I'm
Did
sorry,
you
I was
finish?
trying to rummage through a couple of the songs on that album.
Oh, okay. Did you finish the season yet?
Oh yeah, I guess if that was the last episode.
Yeah, that was the last one. Dennis takes a mental
That
health
really
day.
sucks.
What?
That they just only
That's
do
over?
8 now. Like,
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed when the season first came out and I was looking at the episode list and was like, only eight? Seriously? But I mean, with as busy as some of them are, sure it's difficult to get together. But
you get
uh
2 more episodes out of that?
you're right. Just make it an even 10. Okay, so what did you think season wise? Is it up there as one of your favorites?
I don't know if it's up there as one of my favorites, but I did feel like it came back strong. Like the
Okay.
last season was really hit and miss. Like the first couple episodes were really good, but then when they start getting off on the monkey and the trip to Ireland, it's
The
like,
monkey one, yeah, I was like, oh geez.
yeah. So but it really came back strong this season. I felt like the first episode was really funny. I don't know if I can think of an episode so far that was like kind of a down spot for me.
Yeah.
Was there anything for you that was like felt like a
No,
low?
I don't, not that I can remember. I mean, everything seemed like I was finding myself laughing a lot, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
The
that
bowling
last,
episode, dude.
no, that one's hilarious, man. The last episode though, the mental health day, at the very end there, dude, when he's reaching into that guy's heart and he's just like, what the heck is happening, man?
Yeah, I meant to look, but I said I was like, is it something from that music video maybe?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I've
I
never
meant
even
to
heard
look
that
that
song
up.
before.
I meant to look it up, but we'll have to
Yeah.
report back with that. But yeah, it
Yeah.
was very long. They played that song over and over and over and over again, and that kind of threw me off at the end of the episode. I was like, okay, like we're not really ending very strong here.
No. I kind of wondered though if when before the episode even started, and I was just reading the name of the episode, it started kind of making me wonder if that was going to be like his final episode, like on It's Always Sunny. Because I know we talked about before, where it's like it seems like he's kind of trending kind of away from it. Seems
I
like
think
maybe,
they've just done it for so long, man. I think he just wants to be finished, you know, like
yeah, Yeah. So I mean, at parts I was kind of like, oh, are they gonna kill him off here? Is he gonna end up in the hospital and just like die from his high blood pressure or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, cool. Let's get into this thing. Let's get into the meat. Been picking around at the salads. Done with the salad. Take the salad, waiter. I want to get the meat now. Today we are continuing our look. I'm hungry now, man. We're taking a look, are continuing our look at the band known as AFI. Where we left off, lineup wise, was Davey Havoc on vocals, Jade Pudgett on guitar, Hunter Bergen on bass, and Adam Carson on drums. That's it. That's going to be the band lineup for the rest of the episodes and up into this moment here,
Forever.
July 23rd, 2023. So, and it's a good lineup. It's the best lineup for sure. With the entrance of new guitarist Jade Pudgett and bassist Hunter Bergen to the band, the quartet would see a shift in sound as the band would venture into the quote horror punk.
Oh,
The
Tim
horror
Burton
punk
presents
AFI,
AFI.
basically the horror punk genre for their next album. The New York Times later referred to this point in the band's history where vocalist Davey Havoc, quote, developed into a singer and songwriter of substance. Substance.
You know who I trust when it comes to music? The
The
New
New York
York
Times?
Times. When it comes to goth horror punk, I go to the New York Times to find
Sounds
out
like
who's
a
the
sounds like a
best.
commercial, man. When I need music on AFI and the horror punk genre, I turn to the New York Times. Yeah. So their next full-length album is going to be 1999's Black Sails in the Sunset. But before we got that, we got a little EP, little teaser thrown your way, buddy. You want some breadcrumbs? Here, have some. A salad, if I may. It was called Black Sails EP, released by Nitro Records. This is the precursor for the band's next full length album. The first three songs on this EP are going to show up on the full length album, with the fourth being a bonus track. That fourth song is called Who Knew? So let's get on into this first full length album here in this episode, Josh. Like I said, 1999's Black Sails in the Sunset from Nitro Records. Produced by Andy Ernst, Thad LaRue, and AFI. This is the first full length album for Jade Pudgett on guitar. He was on the EP, the Black Sails EP, but count it now. The band describes the album as forming the beginning of their subsequent sound, which contains more melodic vocals as opposed to their first three full length albums. DyingScene.com described the album's influence on other bands, saying, quote, Black Sails in the Sunset is most definitely a monumental release in punk rock. So many bands, including Rise Against and Avenged Sevenfold, cite AFI as an influence, and that influence ultimately stems from this record. The author goes on to say, quote, Black Sails in the Sunset is a fantastic album. You should buy it now. I like that. I like that. Right to the point, man. Just stop listening to my review. Go buy it. Just go buy it. Songs on this album include Strength Through Wounding, Orphea Cutania, Tarda. Whew. I didn't know if I was going to be able to get through that one. Here comes another one. Exsanguination? Maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, exsanguination.
Malice Maleficarum? I think so.
Malleus Maleficarum. Yep.
Here's the thing about it. You should see my notes. I did some homework and I put a little bit of pronunciations in here. Went on to the interwebs and listened to these words a couple of times and kind of wrote out some of those pronunciation deals. So maybe I'm getting better. Learn English with Curtis. You also have Narrative of Soul Against Soul, Clove Smoke Catharsis, The
I think
Prayer
if you
Position.
learn, I think if you learn Latin with Curtis.
Learn Latin with Curtis. Is that Latin? That's what I was wondering.
I don't
What
know
that
about
was.
exsanguination, but I think Malleus Maleficarum is.
Okay. Sounds like a Harry Potter spell. Uh
Malleus Maleficarum!
I mean basically, right? You have track 7, sponsored by the Church of Track 7, the prayer position. You also have
Let
oh
us
hell.
pray to the track 7.
No poetic device, weathered tome, the last kiss at a glance, and the finale God called in sick today with the hidden track Midnight Sun. Is this your favorite album by AFI, Josh?
Oh. I think
That
for
was
a
weird
time,
sounding.
I think
Oh,
for
wow,
a
that was
time
weird.
it was. Um, there, this is like a hard stretch for me here because this one, The Art of Drowning and Sing the Sorrow are like my favorite AFI albums. So it's hard between them. Um, I think with Black Sails, you get kind of the last remnants of like that real punk feeling that they embodied before. And then by the time you get to Art of Drowning, it's like kind of half this and
Yeah.
half that new, more melodic style that they're going for, and they just kind of like
Yes.
mash them together.
Very blended.
But yeah, and then by the time you get to Sing the Sorrow, it's full blown that new sound, which is still really solid. So
Still good, yeah.
it's a tough one for me. I love all three of these albums.
Okay.
And All
Gun to your
Hallows is
head.
good too, but it's just
It's just a
there's
meat
like a
beat.
couple covers on there, and yeah.
Yeah, gun to your head though. If you had to pick one right this second.
Oh, it'd
Give
probably
me
be
all your
between
money.
it'd be between The Art of Drowning and Sing the Sorrow.
I was about to say, you have to say Sing the Sorrows. It was on your list. I mean,
Yeah,
you listened to it 3 or 4
that's
times
a
right after last week's
I
episode.
know that's a tough one though, man.
Yeah. No, I get it, man. I get it.
I would say Art of Drowning, I guess. Like I gotta go with what hits the hardest for me. There's more nostalgia, I think, tied to Sing the Sorrow.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it's easy to let that mask like what a better album might be.
True. That is true, man. You besides the track 7, all hail. Do you
All hail
have
track 7.
any all hail track 7? Do you have a specific song on this album that really sticks out to you?
Track 7.
I said
No, I
besides
think
track 7, all hail.
Prayer Position has long been my favorite one on this album.
Okay.
Prayer Position, No Poetic Device, and Last Kiss. That's a hell of a run on this album.
Yeah, that's a good little run there for sure.
Starts super strong with Porphyria. um, yeah, that's what makes it so tough, man. Is like they all hit, like Malleus Maleficarum, like they all hit. So
Malleus Maleficarum. Dang it, Harry Potter. Hmm. Yeah, it's a good album, man. It's setting up a good run here of full lengths for them for sure. Setting the foundation. But I
what about
agree with
you?
what you're well, I first off, I agree with what you're saying about this is kind of your big last hurrah of full punk from beginning to end. And then Art of Drowning, you start getting into more of a blended melodic with some punk. And then by the time you get to Sing the Sorrow, it's full blown melodic. But it works, man. It works. They make it work for sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know if I have one that really sticks out above the rest because it's just a good album from front to back to me. Um, it's a good finish. God called and sick. That's a good finisher.
Yeah,
Um, God always love a good hidden track too, so that helps. Yeah, it's a good album overall, man. They definitely started out on the right foot of the quote punk or horror punk genre. run for them. So it's a good one. That is in 1999's Black Sails in the Sunset. Quickly after that release, the band would turn around in October to celebrate Halloween with 1999's All Hallows EP from Nitro Records. Produced by Andy Ernst, Thad LaRue, and AFI, Pete Vincelli of punknews.org reviewed the album, stating, quote, the EP opened with Fall Children, a track that undeniably defined everything that was great about the band. The song began with slow, ominous guitar picking and Davey Havok singing in a lower register before exploding into a beautiful cacophony. Vincelli continues saying, quote, the fiery third track, The Boy Who Destroyed the World, and the poppier last track, Total Immortal, were two more examples of what was best about AFI. Havok's falsetto howl, backed by gang vocals, the tone and aggression of Jade Pudgett's guitar and Hunter Bergen's bass, and Adam Carson's violent drumming. Both of these songs saw some commercial success. The Boy Who Destroyed the World appeared on the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, which introduced a lot of kids to the band for the first time. And Total Immortal was later covered by The Offspring and released on the soundtrack for, interesting, Me, Myself, and Irene, the movie.
Okay.
Very interesting. I've never heard that. I don't know if I really even seen that movie, but I haven't heard that version of
17 million plays on Boy Who Destroyed the World.
Woo! Wow.
Yeah.
What was the give us Spotify on Black Sails? Or if you want, just go ahead and give it to us on these three albums, full length.
It's kind of mid-range. Million, 2 million for most tracks on Black Sails. Art of Drowning, they're about the same. There's a couple 4 million. There is a massive spike on Days of the Phoenix, though, 14 million.
That's weird, though, because Day of the Phoenix is like, I think there's only one song on there. Oh, there's 2 songs.
What?
No, there's 3 songs off of Days of the Phoenix EP.
No, the song. The Days
just
of the
the
Phoenix.
song. Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
on the
okay,
Art of Drowning. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. My bad.
Yeah, I remember that song being very popular.
Yeah.
Sing the Sorrow. So this is, where they kind of start to break out a little bit. Lot of 3, 4, 5 million. That's kind of the average. Spikes up to 7 in a couple of places. And then we have Leaving Song Part 2 at 17 million, Silver and Cold at 24 million, Dancing Through Sunday at 10 million, and Girls Not Gray at 53 million plays.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely where they hit the mainstream.
I've probably done about 1 million of those myself. So
just on Girls Not Gray?
Not just.
Or just all those?
Just with the amount, yeah.
Nice.
December Underground. Holy shit. Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah, that's like their most known. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is like right in the heart of it. 2006, Prelude 1221, 28 million. Most of the averages on this album are going to be about the same as the last 3, 4, 5, 7. Then we've got a couple big breakout ones. We've got Prelude 1221 that was 28 million, and you've got Love Like Winter, which was 17 million. You want to take a guess at how many plays Miss Murder has?
Is it in the billions?
No.
So it's still in the millions.
Yeah.
300 million.
It was just a little over, is 244 million plays. 240 million. Do you remember the highest we saw on Spirit Box?
I remember nothing.
No. I know it wasn't 244 million.
No, but at the same time, not to try to defend them, but they haven't been around since 2006 or 19 something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
still, I don't think I've seen that high of a number yet. Like that's crazy.
Mm.
I'm sure I
Yeah,
could
no,
find some pretty
we
quickly just trying. Yeah,
yeah, but
all I got to
in the
type in here is
bands,
Taylor Swift, and I think we're
right? But in the bands that we've talked about, that takes the cake easily,
yeah.
you know. So, yeah, songs on this EP include "Fall Children," the Misfits cover of "Halloween," "The Boy Who Destroyed the World," or "The Boy Who Destroyed the Spotify plays number." Yeah. Total Immortal as the finale track on that EP. What you think of the Misfits cover? Uh I know I kind of asked you there in a bad spot, but you said something about it last week because it seems like everybody covers it, I think is what you said. So what'd you
Yeah,
think of
I'm
it?
just like burnt out on it.
You
Like
burn
they
on
do
it.
a fine cover of it, and like when this one came out, like it hadn't been done to death.
Oh, okay.
But it like through the early 2000s, it got done to death. So
All right. Somebody cover another song. You know they have
yeah,
other songs, right, people?
they have some other really great songs, and I'd actually like to hear more bands cover Where Eagles Dare. Like
Okay.
nobody covers that song. I would love to hear some covers of that song. It's like
Oh
my favorite
man.
Misfits song.
Just under a year later, after the release of All Hallows EP, the band would release their next full length album, which continued to touch base with the horror punk genre, but expanded into styles that would be a departure from their previous works, which is kind of what me and Josh were just talking about. Kind of a more of a blend of melodic and punk. That is 2000's The Art of Drowning from Nitro Records, produced by Chuck Johnson, who has done work with Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Korn, Vanilla Ice, At the Drive-In, and Slipknot. And he did work also with the band on this album. I think we've talked about that guy's name before because that combination of bands seemed kind of familiar. So I think he's been on another episode previously. Hepcat of SputnikMusic.com stated in their review of the album, quote, AFI are the musical incarnation of life. No other band has ever shown such actual growth and eventual maturity. It's as if AFI started off as an infant and grew over the course of their career thus far into a deep and brooding intellectual. Just look how far they've come from the Dork EP. They've also displayed growing pains as their musical transitions were not always completely perfect. The bratty hardcore excellence of Very Proud of You to the seminal darkness of Shut Your Mouth and Open Your Eyes could be considered a step in the wrong direction for the group. So too could their evolution from the sounds of their masterpiece 2003's Sing the Sorrow to the recent December Underground. A decent album in its own right, but not one showcasing a positive metamorphosis into something better. Of course, AFI's lifespan, much like any humans, has always also had plenty of constructive turns. The change from their sound on Shut Your Mouth and Open Your Eyes to that of Black Sails in the Sunset was the most important development in the band's career. It was the launching point of what AFI was to become and is considered by many to be their finest hour. Their peak of perfection, however. No, their peak of perfection. However, there was another album released in the interim between the near legendary Black Sails in the Sunset and the band's defining moment, Sing the Sorrow. That album is considered by a portion, albeit a smaller one, of AFI's fan base to be their finest hour, their peak of perfection. That album is known as The Art of Drowning. Josh, do you agree with this review that Art of Drowning is the peak of this band's discography? Or if you don't, can you name me the album in your opinion? Oh, you're on mute.
It's this transition between the two. It's The Art of Drowning and it's Sing the Sorrow. Those two albums are the peak.
Okay.
for
I was
this
about to say,
band.
does it have to be just one album? Yeah.
To me, I don't think so, but I definitely have this one in there. It's those two albums for me.
Well, and again, it goes back to, I mean, the sound that we're going to eventually get to on this next album, where it's all the way through, being more melodic, combined with Art of the Drowning sound, where again we just talked about it's the blend of their punk ways and the new melodic way they're going to be transitioning to. It's it's that it's that stage where it's like, okay, we're showing you what we were and what we're going to be, plus the next album of, okay, this is who we are. So I agree with you that I think that this album and their next one is the peak for sure. Songs on this album include Initiation, The Lost Souls, The Nephilim, Ever and a Day, Sacrifice, Theory of Greetings and Goodbyes, Smile, A Story of Three, The Days of the Phoenix, Catch a Hot One, Wester, 6 to 8, The Despair Factor, and the finale, Morning Star, with the hidden track, Battled. Give it to me, Josh. What do you think of 2000's The Art of Drowning?
I'd like to start by giving you a quote from this album.
Ooh, a quote.
If you can't stand upon the water, I'll see you on the ocean floor. And if you can't stand upon the earth, then I'll see you on the other side. That's from verses 1 and 2 of Lost Souls.
Nice.
Um, yeah, it's hard. I don't think there's not a bad track on most of these albums. You got to go back to some of the early stuff where there's clearly like some filler in there and stuff
Yes. Yeah.
but God, Black Sails, Art of Drowning, Sing the Sorrow, not a bad song.
Nope. Nope.
I would even argue that December Underground only has maybe one or two that are kind of misses.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Don't know. Don't have an opinion because I haven't listened to that whole album yet. So
you've never listened to December Underground.
I never was big into AFI. And so the only stuff that I really knew from them was off of the radio.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously like Girls Not Gray and um Miss Murder, and what was the other one? Love Like Winter.
Yeah.
I mean, those were the big ones that got radio time in our local town. So that was really the only thing AFI wise that I knew. Like I said, I just never really was big into them.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but I'm
Man.
digging what I'm hearing in this block, for sure, on these three albums.
So had you never listened to any of these albums in their entirety?
Mm-mm. None of them.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
That's
why I was telling you I was really interested in the idea that it's like their early stuff was punk. And not, I mean, if you go back to the last episode, I tell you straight up that I'm not into like punk in general, but like
why is
I'm
that,
not really.
Curtis? Why is
I'm
that?
just not into that, man.
No,
Just not my cup
we
of tea.
we talked about this. Why is
Well, I
it
mean,
not our cup of tea?
you just don't really need a bass player apparently, and I just is that it?
It's
But there's
because
the
there's
deal of
it's because
go
there's
ahead.
two kinds of people. There's punk people and there's hardcore
There's
people.
hardcore people.
And
Yeah,
we
it's true.
lean more to the side of hardcore.
Yeah. I lean more to the Church of the Seventh Track, but
Right.
that's just me. Hello,
That's
I'm
just
Curtis.
a higher calling, Curtis.
I'm a deacon at the Church of the Seventh Track. Won't you come join us this Monday evening as we talk about track sevens on our local podcast? I'll be joined with my pastor, Josh. Come,
All glory
all
to the
souls are
seven.
welcome. All hail. Yeah,
That's the back and forth. All glory to track 7. Skip tracks 1, 2, 3, 4,
2, 3,
5,
4,
and
5,
6.
6. Has anybody thought about listening to the other tracks? No. It is
Hey,
a
Curtis,
sin. It is a sin.
Curtis, give me a random album. Give me a
A
random album.
random album.
Random album.
Every Time I Dies,
Uh-huh.
Low Teens. Searching, searching,
Searching.
searching.
Searching. Searching. It remembers.
Woo! Is it
Kind of
that's the one that's the one with Panic at the Disco too, isn't it?
yeah, it's got
What's his
Brittany
name?
Urie on there.
Yeah. Nice.
Pretty great track. I have to say my favorite track on Low Teens is Two Summers, but
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
give me one more. Give me another.
You know what Eric's favorite track on Low Teens is?
Huh?
So you know what favorite track Eric's is on Low Teens?
Which one is it?
Map Change.
Oh, okay. Yep. It's all about the map change.
Give me.
I was just gonna say, Under Oath's Disambiguation. Who will guard the Guardians?
That's a
Hail
good
to the
one.
Seven.
Hail to the Seven. All hail. Give me. I had one that I lost. Give me Norma Jean's. Wrongdoers. If it's that transition track. Searching.
Flash.
I can't remember how that one goes. See, there's a run in the middle there on that album. There's like three of those songs kind of blend together. They're all kind of short.
Oh,
Still a good
I
one.
gotta say, if it had been Neck and the Hemp, I would
That
have
was a
just
good one.
punched a hole in my computer screen out of sheer joy.
Oh man.
Oh my
Well,
god.
okay, let's hold on a second though. Hold on a second.
After Hour Animals is the track that you were talking about.
Technically, if you get rid of After Hours Animals, which is just a transitions track, Neck and the Hemp is track 7.
I like what you're saying. I like what you're saying. I like.
Go ahead and punch your computer now. Nice.
Okay,
cool.
Curtis, what if this is just confined within?
What if this is just a cult?
What if this is just confined within genres?
Hey, give me NSYNC's. What was the album? What was the album that you were talking about last week?
No Strings Attached.
No Strings Attached. Oh man, we are so off topic.
It is the title track. No strings attached.
Oh. Which is also our motto at the Church of the Seventh Track. No strings attached.
No strings attached.
Behind our second motto, we are not a cult. So yeah. No Kool-Aid, sir.
This is just facts. Like we're just all of these are being proven. So
proved. Yes. Nice. How about Britney Spears? No. Okay.
Which album?
I don't know because I don't know any Britney Spears albums right off the top of my head. What was her biggest one like back in the day? The one with like what's that song? Bye 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 or whatever. Or no, that's NSYNC. Never mind.
What?
Sorry, I'm still stuck on NSYNC.
Oops, I Did It Again.
Oops, I Did It Again.
Came out in 2000. Baby One More Time came out the previous year. Okay. Baby One More Time. I Will Be There was track 7.
Is that wait, is that the one that wait, that's not
I Will Be There.
Yeah, I kind of remember that one. What about Backstreet Boys?
Oops, I Did It Again. It was Lucky.
Nice. What about Backstreet Boys? Was that album like Millennium or something like that?
Yeah.
That was a good one back in the day. We used to rock the crap out of those albums.
Oh, the Millennium album is Don't Want to Lose You.
I don't want to lose you, man.
I got to say,
I don't remember.
Some late 90s, early 2000 pop albums like this might be some of the exceptions because they give you the few good tracks at the beginning of the album,
yeah,
and then the rest of the album is all filler.
Yeah.
So
Art of Drowning.
Got really far away from the Art of Drowning.
Yeah, man. So technically, because Initiation it's just a quick instrumental track to begin the album.
Yeah.
So if you have Initiation in there, Smile is your seventh track. If you don't account Initiation in there, A Story of Three is your seventh track.
I still feel good about that with both those
I
tracks.
say that's good. That's good. In May 2001, the band would release the Days of the Phoenix EP to promote the single off their recent album of the same name, along with Wester, which was also off the album, and the B-side track A Winter's Tale. That may be why the Days of Phoenix as a song has so many hits, to be honest, on Spotify, because you promote it more, off of this EP.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not to say that it's not a good song. It's a good song. I'm just saying you kind of get more push to it. The band would see their tenure with Nitro Records end as they would be picked up by DreamWorks Records. DreamWorks. We're going to make our dreams come true. In anticipation for the next album, the band would release a 2-song EP entitled 336 EP in 2002 from DreamWorks Records. Both of these songs are not going to make it on the next full length, which is Sing the Sorrow, but they are Now the World, which actually ends up being a bonus track on Sing the Sorrow. And then the second song is Reaver's Music, which shows up on the special edition DVD for Sing the Sorrows. Ooh, special edition. Which takes us to
I don't want either of these tracks to be on Sing the Sorrow.
Yeah, it's for the best.
They would have brought the album down. Yeah.
Don't bring me down, baby. Don't bring me down.
They're fine on their own as like a little EP.
Little EP, yeah.
Like a little EP that's its
but they
own
wouldn't
thing
fit with the rest of
itself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hence the reason they put it out as an EP. They knew what they were doing. Trust the system. Trust the system, Josh.
The system knows what it's doing.
2003's Sing the Sorrow from DreamWorks Records, produced by Jerry Finn, who has done work with bands such as Fastball, Green Day, Blink-182, Sum 41, and The Offspring, as well as Butch Vig and AFI. This album, Josh, in its first week of sales, can you guess how many copies were sold in the first week of sales?
100,000.
No, lower.
Lower?
Yeah.
50,000.
But not by much. No, higher. 96,000 copies in just its first week, Josh. In its first week.
Yeah.
That's insane. Which means it is now certified platinum in both America and Canada. And it reached number 5 on the Billboard's Top 200. Alternative Press awarded the album a perfect score in their review of the album, saying, quote, "Sing the Sorrow soars with the kind of melodies hit singles are made of, yet it somehow persists with AFI's esoteric darkness." Interesting. Very interesting. Songs on this album include Miseria, Canter, The Beginning, The Leaving Song, Part 2, Bleed Black, Silver and Cold, Dancing Through Sunday, Girls Not Grey, the Church of the Track 7 sponsored song, Death of Seasons, The Great Disappointment, Paper Airplanes, Makeshift Wings, This Celluloid Dream, The Leaving Song, But Home Is Nowhere, / The Spoken Word, / This Time Imperfect. Interesting that you put The Leaving Song Part 1 at the end of the album and The Leaving Song Part 2 at the beginning of the album.
I don't know that I've ever listened to them like the right way.
Okay.
I don't know if I've ever listened to The Leaving Song first and then gone back and listened to The Leaving Song Part 2.
Okay.
Or read the lyrics, the other way to see if it seems like it links up like that or anything. There's got to be a reason,
Uniqueness? I don't know. I don't know. I always think
They're like, we should
of,
fuck with people and we'll just.
well, okay, you want to talk about that. So on their first full-length album, As Cities Burn, they have a song on there and it's called uh what is it called? I forget what it's called. But it's something something part two. Hold on a second, I'm gonna look this up because
And
it's
it's on
gonna
the
drive
first
me
album.
wild. Yeah. First full-length album. And it is called Bloodsucker Part Two. It's the fourth track on the album, and they released two EPs before this for this first full length. Neither one of those have a Bloodsucker one, and so I always wonder. It's like, what is this? Where's number one? Where's the first part? And at times I've wondered too, where it's like, are they just trying to mess with my brain? Are they just trying to make it sound cool and be like, hey, there's a part one out there. Good luck finding it, and it's just like a
Yeah.
never ending trail that leads to nothing. I don't know. So
They're
yeah,
just trying to mess with you.
they're just trying to mess with me. Dude, I think we get the like the gang vocals and the harmonizing vocals and everything through the last couple albums, but man, they take it up a notch on this album. I feel like with those gang vocals,
Yeah,
it
for
just
sure.
whoo, sheesh. So good, man, so good. What'd you think of Sing of the Sorrow?
I love this album. A lot of nostalgia for me.
But would you marry
Um, I might.
it?
Yeah, and this one and The Art of Drowning are my two favorite albums for sure.
So you speak of nostalgia. What certain things come to mind when you listen to this album, or when you even think of this album?
Oh man. I think of Zunes.
Nice. I had one.
Yep.
Those are good.
Um, yeah, I don't know, like what it's that's a lot, Curtis. There's a lot
That's
to
heavy,
unpack
isn't it?
here.
Oh
Yeah.
God, I think he's about to
Um,
cry.
yeah, no, just like a lot of stuff that was going on for me around that time, I guess, like
Yeah,
people and things and yeah, no, and then this album was just like always one that I would go back to a lot, all through high school, through my early 20s. Like, so it's just, yeah, it's
very near and dear to his heart, people.
yeah, for
Very near
sure.
and dear. Is there a song that really, really does it for you on this album, or is it just one of those where it's just like shut up and listen to the whole thing?
Just shut up and listen to the whole thing. Yeah,
That
because
is a
there's a lot
direct
of
quote
like,
from Josh.
there's a lot of really great, like, and not in terms of quality, but in terms of like style and feel, like ups and downs in this
Mm,
album.
yeah,
It goes from the leaving song, like something like that you would almost imagine being the end of the album, to like snapping right back with But Home Is Nowhere.
right.
So I don't know. It's just there's a lot of like this over the album. The quality stays the same, but a lot of different feelings for this album where I feel like the last two albums they weren't really going for that. So,
Show me your hand. No, show me the other hand.
oh, I lost the other one in a horrible accident.
Show me your
Oh,
fingers. What is happening? Did you
I smashed all of them.
did you smash another one?
No.
Did you paint
No.
them? Are you
Yeah.
really getting into this episode?
Oh yeah. That's how
I'm
into this
surprised you
episode
didn't
I
like grow out your hair and just like part it into like one eye.
am.
Keep like,
I do the jade cut.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Nice. Did you really paint your fingernail?
Yeah,
Why?
I just did.
And moving on. Yeah, Sing the Sorrow is a good one, man. They're definitely taking it up a notch. They turned it from 10 to 11 and then said, hold my beer and turn it to 12.
Rip the
Oh,
knob off.
psych. Rip the knob off. Sparks were flying, fireworks. Yeah. Man, they come in so hard with that first track. I'm not even going to say it again. The beginning. They come in so hard with that track, dude. I love that.
Yeah,
Um, it does have some electronics to it, but that's okay. It's okay. It's not like this new age electronics.
we give it a
Um,
pass.
we give it a pass. But yeah, dude, there's such a good run. I mean, it's a good album from front to back, but to me, there's such a good run from the very first song through like Death of Seasons. Oh my goodness, man. It's
Yeah,
so good. Got anything
this
else for
album
Sing the Sorrow,
slays.
Josh?
Um, no, I mean it's just like this is the album that like I think I listen to the most because it's in that sweet spot between um December Underground and The Art of Drowning.
Right.
December Underground, while I still feel like is good, it's just very different. It's good in its own way. And this album is the last remnant of the mid roll here, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Anything that you liked about The Art of Drowning or Black Sails, you know, that was an element of this album. You're not really going to see that after this,
The
you
sun
know.
is setting on it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You're right. With the release of Sing the Sorrow, the band would find mainstream success. Their album would be nominated for a VMA award in the MTV2 category for their song Girls Not Grey. In 2004, Nitro Records released a compilation album featuring songs from the band's first 5 full length albums and their All Hallows EP. Now, allegedly, the release by Nitro Records came without the band's permission. So I wanted to ask you, um, do you think Nitro Records really need to have their permission? I mean, I don't know. I don't know who really owns the records at that point. If Nitro Records still has like ownership of them, or if maybe AFI did somehow. I don't know.
We would
Um,
have to see contracts and stuff
we
too.
want contracts. Can we get on that? Can you get some emails out, Josh? Get your contacts going, man. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. But the band would make a statement to their fans on the recent release of the compilation release stating, quote, while we're really proud of our history and accomplishments, we feel our career is really just getting started and feel slightly embarrassed by anything that hints at retrospect. There's plenty of time for that later when we're old. We'd rather move forward. Interesting. Embarrassed. Okay. Okay. I wonder what part exactly he's talking about though.
Right.
If he means like the very, very early stuff, which okay, I mean, I get that, you know. But I hope he's not talking about like, the last few albums that were on Nitro,
Yeah.
which would be Black Sails and Art of Drowning. But I think
Can't be.
he's I
Can't
think
be.
he's talking yeah, I think he's talking more of like those early stuff, like very proud of you and stay fashionable. So that is it, Josh. I've got one more quote. Did you have something to say?
I just wanted to say I want you to go into
Me personally
listening,
or the fans?
you and
Okay.
people listening. I want
Okay.
you to go into December Underground not expecting it to be what we had before, you know?
Right.
Um, try to listen to it just as its own thing and just take those songs for what they are. Don't try to compare them to the earlier stuff. And I
Yeah.
think
That's
you'll enjoy that album a lot more because I was just scrolling through there and like there really are only a couple of tracks maybe on there that I'm kind of like meh. But
Yeah, that's the hard thing as a fan of a band for us to do is to listen to a new album and not compare it to the previous release, especially if we like it.
for sure.
So yeah, I will take that to heart, Josh. Thank you. Thank you for that talk. I feel like there should have been like some like inspirational like Full House music going there. Uh as you get down and to my level and put your hand on my shoulder and tell me some life lessons. So
Sometimes, champ, people just grow apart.
exactly. I got a final quote here from a song as we in this episode. It goes as such. As I walked away, heard them say, poison hearts will never change. Walked away again, turned away in disgrace. Felt the chill upon my face, cooling from within. Yeah.
Amazing.
Slam poetry. Amazing. Amazing.
Davey Havoc really doesn't get enough credit for his
He's a
lyrics,
good.
for
Yeah,
sure.
he's a great lyricist.
Yeah.
Do you have any final words, statements, concerns? I don't know what else to say
I'm
about this episode,
concerned
Josh.
for Beyond December Underground because I have not heard this. I have not listened to this.
So
So
you have not listened to Crash Love,
mm-mm,
Bodies, Burials.
mm-mm.
Okay.
I could see what I felt like was the writing on the wall with December Underground, that we were only
Okay.
going to go further. And so I kind of pulled the plug to preserve what I still had.
He's like, no, I gotta get off. I gotta get off the ship.
So I have not I've not dipped into these other few albums.
This is gonna be an interest.
I read some stuff about them, but yeah, I that's the only thing I want to say is just about December Underground. Go in
Okay.
there, try to enjoy that album because it's a good album, and I can't speak for what happens after that.
Put the blinders on when you listen to that one for sure. Don't
Yeah.
think about the past or the future or whatever. Yeah. Cool. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at @IsSurvivedByPro for news and the latest episode postings, not just on this show, but our other shows as well. We have the History of the Cores After Hours podcast, where I sit down with my good friend and avid listener of this very podcast right here, Eric, and we talk about some of the bands that me and Josh have already talked about. We actually are going to have a brand new episode, not this week, but next week. It's going to be talking about the band from Boston, Massachusetts, known as
Dropkick Murphys.
Yeah, close. You also have the Red Right Hand podcast, which has covered all 6 seasons and then some of the BBC/Netflix hit TV show, The Peaky Blinders.
Curtis,
Yes.
I'm hearing a lot of people saying they want to watch Peaky Blinders, but they tried to watch like the first couple episodes and it just didn't really do a whole lot for them. But I encourage you, if you need somebody to hold your hand and walk you through this, we would be more than happy to let you listen to those episodes.
Get in my van and listen to this episode now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you've been hesitant to watch the show, give it a shot. I would say try to ride out that first season. I think it'll kind of hook you, but
Second
they're
season
short,
definitely takes
it's
it up.
6
Yeah.
episodes, so
Yep.
you can make it through that. And I
can do
think
this.
once you do, you'll want to watch the other 5 seasons. So
We believe in you. We here at the Red Right Hand podcast believe in you. Make your dreams come true.
you can come back and listen to us on that show, grasping at straws and hoping desperately that a movie comes out or a spinoff sometime relatively soon before they just decide to reboot the entire thing.
In the meanwhile, we'll just talk about, hey, you should go see Oppenheimer. And then when you get done with Oppenheimer, just go over to the next theater and go see Barbie. Because that's what apparently everybody's doing. So
Barbenheimer.
Barbenheimer, yeah. Some of those memes are getting pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie.
I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. We also have the Throne of the Dragon podcast, which so far has covered season 1, soon to be season 2 of the House of the Dragon show from HBO.
That's
Apparently,
my
we
favorite
are
one.
your favorite show, your favorite podcast that we do.
Yep.
Currently, we are in our Aegon Targaryen series.
Aegon's dead, bro.
He's dead. I know. I was just about, if you'd shut up and let me talk, I was just about to say, Aegon's dead. Now we're on to his children. Yeah. So you said something on the last episode, I think, about where are we going to be talking about Maegor in the next one, or are we talking about something besides that series? Because I thought you said something about maybe doing like an update on like the actual show.
Yeah, I just wanted to do one relatively soon, just about some different actors that we've got who are going to play new characters coming in. Kind of the host of actual characters that we're going to be dealing with this season. I'll tell you kind of what I think we'll be covering relatively, and try to keep it spoiler free. Relatively what's going to be covered during that time frame. So
I like my spoilers to be free. I do enjoy a free spoiler. Also, while you're on Twitter, make sure to follow my co-host at Joshua Lynn Gary. It's right there below him. Look, there it is.
down there.
It's down there.
I should tweet more. I'm a viewer mostly, you know.
You're a bum.
I'm a watcher. I'm a watcher on Twitter.
He's a creep. That's what he is. He's a Twitter creep. No, I'm a Wilson. Too, so. Make sure to, oh god, not reverse Wilson.
Reverse Wilson.
That's an inside joke. Nobody else gets it. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review and write us a comment on whatever podcast service you're using. And if you want to listen to us and see our smiling faces, head on over to our YouTube page. Just search Is Survived by Productions, and it'll have every episode from all of our shows. Subscribe to the channel, thumbs up the video. All right, we will see you in the next episode of the History of the Chorus podcast, blah, 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 part 3 of AFI, The Unknown. Dun, dun, dun. Till then, see you.